So your child receives the email, and that means they have been shortlisted for a DSA interview. And for the first few seconds, everyone will feel really excited and proud. But then the questions will start to begin. For example, what will the school ask? And how should my child answer? And what happens if they become nervous or say the wrong thing? And before long, you may find a long list of common DSA interview questions online together with suggested answers. And at about 9 p.m. after a full day of school, homework, and perhaps CCA or enrichment classes, your child is practicing the same answer again. So definitely preparation is useful, but memorizing a large amount of model answers may not prepare your child for the most important part of the interview, which is the follow-up question. So in this video, I'll explain what schools may be trying to understand during a DSA interview and share with you a simple activity you can try at home this week. When your child is shortlisted, it's very natural for you to want to help. And you may receive a question bank from maybe a parent chat group, and you may see online guides or like sample answers or interview preparation programs. So a list definitely feels useful because it gives you a framework, something specific to work on. There's nothing wrong with discussing these questions. The problem begins when children are taught to repeat fixed answers word for word. And an interview is not really about whether your child can deliver a very polished response, because the interviewer may actually just want to see whether your child understands what they are saying and can respond naturally when asked to explain further. So it can help your child become familiar with questions such as, why do you want to join this school? Why are you interested in this particular talent area? What are your strengths? Tell us about a challenge you have faced, and what have you learned from your competition so far? So many parents focus on this question, which is what questions will the school ask my child? I feel that a more useful question may be when, let's say, when the interviewer asks something unexpected. Can my child think and answer in their own words at that point in time? So for example, your child might say, I enjoy robotics because I like solving problems. And the interviewer might have a follow-up question to ask, can you tell me about a problem you faced during a robotics project or competition? And maybe your child will answer, my greatest strength is perseverance. And the interviewer may respond, can you give us a specific example? So these follow-up questions help interviewers understand the child more clearly. And a memorized answer may help with the opening question. But children may need to be able to share and explain their own experiences, their choices, and their learning in their own words. So direct school admission allows students to seek admission based on their interests, ability, and potential in particular talent areas. And that is separate from their PSLE results. And the exact selection process differs between the schools as well as the talent areas. Some schools conduct interviews, and others may hold auditions, trial sessions, assessments, or a combination of all of these. So meeting a school's criteria also does not automatically guarantee an offer, because by the interview stage, the school may already have seen your child's application, achievements, and portfolio. The interview itself actually gives the school an opportunity to understand the person behind the application, the records. And this does not mean that the interviewers expect perfect answers. It means that authentic examples and clear thinking may be more useful than going into the interview with memorized phrases. Some of the talent areas may include sports, performing or visual arts, debating, public speaking, science, mathematics and engineering, languages, leadership, uniform groups. They may want to know, is the child genuinely interested in the talent area? Can the child explain what they have learned? And how does the child respond to challenges? And is the child willing to grow and contribute? And does the child understand the commitment involved? I mean, the ability to remember information is still useful, But kids are growing up in a world where technology can easily retrieve and find information, generate texts, and suggest answers very quickly. So this makes other human skills increasingly important. So a DSA interview may give a school an early look at some of these abilities. Like for example, when a child is asked an unexpected follow-up question, the interviewer may not be looking for a perfect answer or sentence. They may just be observing how the child gathers and structures their thoughts and make sense of the questions, whether they can understand the question and explain a real experience. And this is useful not just only for one school interview, it will also help for future presentations, project work, leadership roles, internships, and even job interviews. Like for example, how they think through an unfamiliar problem, explaining an idea clearly, being able to ask useful questions, how they work with other people, and how they adapt when the plans have changed, how they reflect on their mistakes and making decisions when there's no perfect answer. No, absolutely not, because preparation is definitely very important. A student who has never practiced speaking to an unfamiliar adult may become very nervous, even when they know the subject matter very well. And it helps children understand what an interview may feel like. So preparation is also useful for children to think about why they enjoy their specific chosen talent area and what they have learned from it. And the key difference is basically this: do not prepare only by memorizing answers. You should prepare by helping the child practice thinking and speaking. Because a memorized script will become difficult to use when the interviewer changes the wording or changes the question, or they might ask an unexpected question which they have not prepared for. But a child who understands their own experience can definitely answer the same question in multiple, very natural ways. Things that they can practice, however, are like, for example, greeting the interviewers, sitting comfortably and maintaining a very natural eye contact, listening to the full question, and taking a short pause before they answer. And if they are not sure they understood the question properly, ask for clarification. And then after that, speak at a very steady pace and speak clearly. And please also share examples of their own experiences. So imagine a child sitting in the interview room with two teachers, and the first question is familiar, and your child is able to give the answer that they have been practicing on. And then one teacher suddenly asks, "Can you please give us a more specific example?" And your child might suddenly become unsure. But this doesn't mean that the child has failed. It simply means that they now need to move beyond the prepared sentence and think about a real experience which they can share. So maybe a helpful response can be as simple as, "May I have a moment to think?" And then your child can stop for a while, try to recall an example and explain it in their own words. So the answer may not sound perfectly polished, and that's perfectly okay. Interviewers do understand that primary 6 students may be nervous, and this is very, very normal. So what matters is more about whether the child can engage with the question and communicate something meaningful. And parents can help by making the pauses feel normal. Teach your child that taking a few seconds to think is better than rushing into an answer that does not answer the question properly. So two kids applying to the same school through the same talent area, and there might be instances of where both have relevant achievements, projects, and certificates. One child may have spent multiple weeks memorizing answers from a list of interview questions and then sound confident when expected questions are asked. And the other child has also prepared, but in a very different way. And instead of memorizing full responses word for word, child B potentially has practiced discussing real-life experiences. Like for example, when the interviewer asks, "What would you have done differently?" then the first child may struggle because that question wasn't part of what he or she has memorized. But the second child may pause and think of an actual experience and give a specific answer. The response may not be perfect, but it is very personal. and is very relevant and easier for the interviewer to understand and remember. So this does not mean that one answer alone decides who receives the offer. I mean, different schools consider different information and use their own selection processes. However, being able to reflect and respond naturally can help a child present themselves more clearly. And they will have thought about a project that they were proud of, mistakes that they have made in the past and how they can improve on it, or a time where they wanted to give up, and what was their experience and their takeaways from working with teammates, and what would they have done differently if they were given another chance, and why this particular talent area matters to them. You can try one simple activity, which is ask your child one open-ended question about their preferred talent area, like for example, why do you enjoy robotics? And your child might answer, because I like Lego or I like building things. But instead of correcting the answer or giving them a better one, ask a follow-up question, which is like, what do you enjoy most when you build something or you play with Lego? And your child might say, I like seeing whether my idea actually works. And then you can follow up and ask, can you share about a time when your idea did not work? So now the conversation has become more specific, and your child may begin describing a real project, what went wrong, and what they did next. And that is very useful interview material because it comes from their own experience. So the goal is basically not to create a new script. The goal is to help your child become comfortable explaining, reflecting, and responding to follow-up questions. You can keep the activity very short. Probably about 10 to 15 minutes is enough. And children are less likely to benefit when interview practice becomes another long and stressful, very similar to a tuition session. You can try a couple of these with 3 different topics this week, which is number 1, why your child enjoys this particular talent area. Number 2, describe a challenge or mistake that they remember. Or number 3, a proud moment or achievement. The main ability is actually the ability to think clearly and communicate under pressure, because all these skills need to be developed, and they can be developed. And some children are very natural and very comfortable speaking. Others may need more time and encouragement. A quiet child does not need to become loud and overly confident. They simply need to learn how to share their thoughts clearly and sincerely. And at Empire AI, we encourage children to explain their decisions, respond to questions, and work through unfamiliar problems. So the focus is not only to remember technical steps, it is also to help kids develop reasoning, confidence, and communication. And this can include being able to listen carefully, being able to understand what is being asked, organizing their thoughts, and giving a relevant example, explaining choices, reflecting on mistakes, and the ability to stay calm when the question is not expected. Your child does not need to memorize a perfect answer to every possible question. And it's perfectly normal for the child to feel nervous. The goal is not to remove that feeling, it is to help your child remain calm and steady enough to be able to think and communicate. And when children know their own stories, they do not need to remember 50 model answers word for word. They just need to understand what they have done, what they have learned, and why it matters to them. So if your child has an upcoming DSA interview and you're not sure how to prepare, you can reach out to us, WhatsApp us at 8145-5004. Share with us your child's talent area and when the interview is taking place, and we will share an honest view on what may be most useful, even if it's like simply practicing the home activity that we just covered in this video.